What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be going through all the books I read in June. So I've read 13 books in total this month, including a current read. I'm at about 50% of the last book I read in June. I'll probably finish in July, but I just thought I would talk about it right now. And then I'll just let you guys know how I feel about it. So the first book I read this month was The Unhoneymooner by Christina Lauren. And I really like this book. I think it was super cute. Look how cute that cover is. This is about Olive, and her sister is getting married. But her and the whole wedding party end up getting sick at the wedding, which means they can't go to their honeymoon. So Olive's sister, Amy, offers her the honeymoon that they were going to go on. There is a second person that can go. The groom's brother, Ethan, can go with her. Now the problem is Olive and Ethan despise each other. They cannot stand each other, so obviously this is a hate to love story. I thought it was really cute seeing them go on a vacation together and obviously gain feelings. I thought it was a really cute story and I highly recommend it. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and this is a part of my summer 24-hour reading blog, and so is the next one. Next is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolutely love this book, guys. I highly recommend this. This is about a family, and it shows every perspective of each family member. So all of the kids, I think there's 4 kids, but it goes back and forth from present day to when their parents met and how they fell in love. So it shows all the days leading up to this party that Nina, which is the oldest sibling, throws every year. They're a very well-off and rich family, so she kind of invites everyone to this party. So the book kind of shows you all of these days leading up to this party, and then something really crazy happens at the party. I really suggest this book. The family dynamic in this book was super cute. And the cover, you know I'm a sucker for covers, and that's a cute cover. Book Taylor Jenkins Reid in general I recommend. She's really good. The only book I've read, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Malibu Rising, and I think that's all I've read by her. I want to read Daisy Jones and the Six and After I Do and all of that. I want to continue my reading journey with her because she is such a good storyteller. But I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Now we're getting into Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. This is her first book, and I'm so surprised by that because this is one of my favorite books ever. I'm not gonna lie, this will probably be my favorite book I've read this year, to be honest. This is about Persephone, and she grew up with Sam at this beach house that her family used to go to every summer. And when they have a falling out, they don't talk for a very long time. So she goes back to this beach house because she finds out Sam and Ryle, Sam's brother, which she was very close with also, their mother has passed away, and she was very close with their mother. So obviously this is very disappointing to her. So she goes back to the lake house where they first met, and they kind of run into some memories and talk about why they stopped talking and all of these things. It's like your typical friends and lovers type story, but this one just hit different for me. I really recommend it. I had so much fun reading this. I wish I could read this for the first time again, but sadly I can't. I highly recommend it, guys. Please go read Every Summer After. But I obviously gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. After all those good reads, I thought I would pick up something a little sadder. It's called You've Reached Sam by Destin Theo. I absolutely love this cover. Look how beautiful that cover is, guys. Again, I really wanted to read this book because of the cover. Not just because of what the book was about, but obviously what it was about definitely added to it. But having this on my shelf, I just feel like is so pretty. But like I was saying, I read this because I had read so many happy love stories and I thought I would give a sad one a try. But this is about Julie and Sam, and this shows their love story and how they met and how they inevitably fell in love. Until one day, Sam dies and everything changes. So it shows Julie going through this really hard time, and one day she gets a call from a random number and she picks it up and it is Sam. Sam talks to her through the phone and keeps calling her, and they end up talking through the phone. It's so crazy. Like, it's such a unique storyline, and I really recommend this book. It was just super sad. Obviously it's going to be a sad book, but I thought it was really cool. Yeah, how many people can say that they can still talk to their loved one after they pass away and still have certain phone calls with them? 3 out of 5 stars. Next up is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This has been on my bookshelf for like 3 years. I got this during COVID time, and this is about a quarantine, so I obviously wanted to pick this up. Again, the cover, absolutely stunning. Like, I don't know how these people do it, but so this is more of a fantasy, and that's why I didn't pick it up, because I don't think that's really my thing. And when I read it, I obviously didn't like it that much. Knowing I didn't like fantasy, I didn't figure that I'd like it very well. But this is about Baxter School of Girls, and they go into quarantine because the teachers start dying and some students start dying slowly. Eventually, when Hetty, which is the main character's best friend, goes missing, everything changes, and she will do anything to find her friend, and it's just a really cool story about the journey she goes through to find her friend and what ends up happening to her. Yeah, it was a good, if you like fantasy, I think it's a good book, but that's just not really my thing, so I kind of fell off of it. Sorry. But I ended up giving this a 2 out of 5 stars because it's just not my thing. But I highly suggest it for somebody who does like fantasy. What is going on? So after that, I ended up picking up a love story that everybody has talked about, The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. And guys, I like this book. Like, a lot of people didn't like this book, but I thought it was really cute. A lot of people say it's a lot longer than it should be, and I do agree. I think there's a lot more details than there should have been, and I feel like it wasn't really necessary, but I genuinely had a lot of fun reading this, so it's kind of a hit or miss on if you're gonna like it or not, but I thought it was a really good story and really interesting. This is about Catalina, and her sister is having a wedding in Spain, and she can't go by herself because the best man is actually her ex, so obviously she doesn't want to show up to this wedding by herself. That's a little embarrassing for her, so she tries to find a date to this wedding when her coworker Erin offers to go with her, and obviously she's already told her family that she has a boyfriend, so she's kind of hesitant at first, considering Erin and Catalina do not get along at all. They obviously hate each other, hate to love. She ends up taking his offer, and they go to Spain together and kind of form this relationship. I feel like their dynamic was really interesting and really entertaining, the way they talk to each other. I highly recommend this book. Obviously it's a thick one, but I think it's worth it. Personally, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Next is Layla by Colleen Hoover. I have never read a like creepy type book from her, but she has this one in Verity, and I'm definitely reading Verity after reading this one because the way she wrote this was so good. Like, I knew she wrote romance really good, but guys, please go read this. It's hard to even explain. Like, so this was about Leeds and Layla, and it tells how they fell in love, all that jazz. But eventually Layla suffers head trauma, which is not a spoiler, it's on the back, and you read about this fairly soon in the book. And after that happened, she seems very different, and she's not acting the same. And Leeds starts to recognize this, and so he takes her to the place where they first met, and Layla is just not acting right. I know this sounds really weird, but he ends up meeting a ghost and gains a connection with her. Her name is Willow. Yeah, that's really all I can explain without giving it away, but I highly recommend this book. There's so many twists and turns, and she's the queen of twists and turns, so yeah, please give this a shot. You won't regret it. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next is The Love Hypothesis. This is also a really hyped up book, so I decided to pick it up, and I had a really fun time reading this book. I thought it was really cute. This is about Olive and Adam, and they're both scientists, and Adam is a professor, and everybody kind of knows him as an ass. Like, he's kind of a douchebag to everybody. And when Olive is trying to convince her friend that she is over her ex so her friend can eventually get with her ex, she makes a bet with her friend that she will kiss the first person that walks into the room, and what do you know, it is Adam. Olive asks Adam if he will keep up with the charade and kind of fake date her. Obviously he goes along with it. It's fake dating, super cute. I liked it a lot. I had a really fun time reading it, and I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Not my favorite. I get the hype, just not, I didn't fall in love with it, if you know what I mean. I didn't fall in love with it like people were saying I was going to, but still a really fun read. Next is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This is one of the books that isn't as hyped up, which I don't understand, because this is one of my favorite reads this month. I really, really liked it. This is about Morgan and Clara, and Morgan is the mother and Clara is the daughter. I really love that aspect of the book because I was raised by a single mother, so I kind of understand what was going through each of their heads. And I say that because the husband and the father ends up getting in a car accident, and Clara was really close with her father, so she's kind of dealing with that. And Morgan and Clara obviously have their own romances because it is Colleen Hoover, and you know there's going to be a romance. So you get to see both of them having a romance and all of those feelings that lead with it, and just their relationship and how it grows. I think it's really good. Like, I enjoyed this so much. I want to reread it, and I only read it like 2 weeks ago, so I highly recommend it. I don't know why it's not as popular as it should be, because it is so good, guys. Please go read it. Like, it makes me so happy just thinking about it. Now for one of my disappointments of the month. One of the books that I thought I would really like, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Now, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I watched the movie after this book, and I really liked the movie. I thought the acting wasn't great, but I thought it was a lot better than the book, and it's kind of like a comfort movie for me now. Like, I can just throw this movie on the TV and I feel instantly comfortable. I don't know if that was just me or what, but yeah, the book was just, I don't know, it was just very lust driven, and they had a connection, but I feel like it was so much lust that it kind of overshadowed the romance, and that's not really my thing. Like, I'd rather read about like a genuine connection, and I believe they had that. It was just too much lust for me. I don't know if that's me, but I still highly recommend this book because what may not hit for me may hit for other people. Lucy and Joshua, and they are competing for the same promotion, and they do not like each other at all. They are constantly competing, so they kind of have miniature like games and like battles between each other. It's cute. I really like the way they like talked between each other. I thought the banter was really cute. So as a result, I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Next was a book I absolutely adored, and that is Pack Up the Moon by Christine Higgins. So good, guys. Like, so sad, but so good. Like, this is the definition of a romance that I wanted from The Hating Game. Like, their connection, they are true soulmates, and you can just tell. I'm getting worked up about it because, guys, this book was so good. This, like, the way they talked about each other was just, it made your heart, like, my heart was about to burst, okay? But this is about Joshua and Lauren, and it shows how they fell in love, their story, and Lauren ends up getting sick. And she ends up writing letters to Josh for every month after she passes, so it goes up to a year after she has passed away, so she can kind of work with him through this tragedy. And oh my god, it just tugs at your heartstrings. Like, if you want a really, really genuine, good romance, please pick this up. I know everybody's talking about it, which they should, because it is so good. I obviously gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Next was Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I really enjoyed this book. So this was about Penny and Sam, and Penny cannot wait to go to college. She has been waiting for this very long time, and she kind of just wants to get away from her mom because her and her mother doesn't have a very good relationship. So she ends up going to college and meets Sam, and Sam is working at a cafe that he also sleeps at. So he's clearly struggling with his whole living situation and things like that, so they kind of feel the need that they need somebody to talk to. So when they meet, they end up switching numbers and they end up texting, and they call each other their emergency contacts, which hence the name. But guys, literally, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Look at this pink and this gold, like, so cute. So they end up texting each other and kind of act as this like therapists for each other. They're just kind of there for each other, and they obviously gain a connection. I literally just finished this book like yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute, and I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it, just not my favorite, which is why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but still highly recommend it. Next book is Her One Mistake by Heidi Perks. I am in the middle of this book. I'm about 50% of the way through, and it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like for the first half, if I were to give it a rating, I would give it like a 3 out of 5. And a 3 out of 5 stars isn't bad for me. It means I still liked the book. It just wasn't like mind-blowing, you know? So Charlotte is looking after Alice, which is her friend Harriet's daughter. And Harriet is very overprotective with Alice. She is her pride and joy. And when Alice goes missing while in Charlotte's care, she kind of gets freaked out, obviously, which who wouldn't, because this little girl has just gone missing. But Charlotte swears that she was watching her. She doesn't know what happened. So it's just this mystery of what happened to Alice and who I suspect, if it is who it is at the end of the book. I feel like it's gonna be very like obvious. Yeah, you pick up what I'm throwing down, but if it ends up being somebody else, I think it'll get a higher rating, because that would mean they like tricked me. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book so far, and I'll let you guys know how I feel when I finish it. So this is all the books I read in June. This is a lot of books for me, guys. Like, I used to read like 3 books in like 3 months, so I'm very proud of myself if you can't tell. But this is a really good reading month, and yeah, I'm just super, I'm putting these down because I'm distracted. Yeah, but hopefully in July I will do as good as I did this month. I read some really good books this month, like some of my favorite books, and yeah, I'm just super excited about that. But if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked me. I hope you have a good day. Bye, loves.